is Linda Southward, and I'm honored to serve as the director of the Children's Foundation of Mississippi. The Children's Foundation of Mississippi was established in 2019, and we're founded on the belief that for Mississippi to reach its potential, we must make sure that all of Mississippi's children reach their potential. So today's topic on child care, quality early care and education, outreach. We are so delighted to have so many leaders in the field with us today on this chat about children. And we know that there is absolutely a tremendous return on investment for the children, for their parents and employees and employers. And we know that quality child care helps parents grow their income and children grow smarter, as some of the research that Nobel Prize recipient James Heckman has demonstrated through the years. But today we're looking specifically at opportunities for children and their families and child care providers all across Mississippi. So I'd like to get started and am asking each person on this chat to tell a little about themselves. So we'll get started with Tara Dickerson.
Hi, thank you for having me today. My name is Dr. Tara Dickerson, and I am the project director for the Mississippi Child Care Resource and Referral with MSU Extension. And we have oversight of the child care resource and referrals in regions 2, 3, and 4 of the state.
Okay. And then we will go to BethAnne.
So thank you for having me. I am with the Delta Health Alliance. I am the VP of Community Engagement and Operations, and we are over Region 1 of the Resource and Referral Grant through the state.
Okay. And we also have Charles Coleman, also with the Delta Health Alliance.
So hello, everyone. My name is Charles Coleman. I'm the Assistant Director for our North Division of our Resource and Referral Centers and what will be 6 areas.
Great. Thank you. So that's sort of the regional perspective and the work that's going on at the state level, and then how this is sort of manifested on the ground. It's in different ways. And we know that there are a few that are specifically within child care centers, and then also at university campus. So Tamara, will you tell us about yourself and the work you do?
Yes, I'm Tamara Smith, and I'm with Midtown Partners, and we have a partnership with MSU, and so we have an R&R right on site with our kindergarten program, and we also have a daycare, Little Samaritan Montessori Center. I'm so excited to be here today.
Thank you. And BethAnne.
Hi, my name is BethAnne Mitchell. I am our Resource and Referral Training Specialist with the Mississippi Early Childhood Inclusion Center. We have 2 resource and referral centers, one in Hattiesburg, where I'm located, and also one in Gulfport, and we're through USM.
So let's get started. The first questions I will direct to Tara and BethAnne and Charles. So Tara, it's my understanding that Mississippi State University has been engaged in this work for many years. Will you give us a little more background about the purpose and the history of the work that you're doing?
Yes, so our executive director, Dr. Louise Davis, began the work with the child care resource and referral in the state in the early 2000s. And what started out initially as 3 resource and referral sites grew to around 13, 14 sites. And also had a rolling resource and referral RV that would deliver materials and training to rural areas in the state. So it's something that she and we have been passionate about for many years. In 2016, the funding transferred into the community colleges so that work could be carried on. Mm-hmm. And in October of 2022, MSU Extension was awarded the grant again for, like I said, regions 2, 3, and 4. And our resource and referral sites have a wide array of materials, supplies, and equipment. We provide services to parents, to early care and education providers, also students. child development centers and community members, and all of the resources are available at no charge. So it is really a great, resource to have for the early childhood community in the state.
Okay, so that's a good segue to ask Brooks, Ann, and Charles to talk about the R&Rs through the Delta Health Alliance. Charles, you mentioned some specific geographical areas that are served, but hearing what Tara said, how similar is the work of R&Rs through the Delta Health Alliance as it is with the Mississippi State University Extension Service? Is this
Sure.
sort of like one different parts of one larger piece?
We are just different parts of one larger piece. You said it exactly. We have 22 counties of the Mississippi Delta, but we do the same exact thing that Tara and her people do. We work with parental engagement, anything really having to do with child givers of children under the age of 12. We're out there to help, whether it's helping with a lesson plan unit or whether it's a parent coming in with a child with disabilities. We're there to help. And anything that the state does, whether it be signing people up for WIC or TANF or anything along that line, our associates within our centers are able to help the parents or caregivers with any of that information.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. So, while we just heard that the R&Rs, whether it's through the Delta Health Alliance or whether it's through Mississippi State University's Extension Service, really have an overall arching mission of helping families, providers, parents to have services or meet unmet needs there, etc. Then when we think about how the work that Tamara is doing with Midtown Partners, would you explain a little bit more about how parents and providers can access the services that you have in your center?
Yes, I want to attest as being a parent how invaluable this resource is just for myself as a parent, right? The accessibility of an on-site R&R where children are going to school every day is just invaluable. The parents can come in and check out things for their children. Like once a family enroll here, they come to the school. Sometimes the children they may be struggling with phonics sounds. They may be struggling with, fine motor or whatever it is. But to say to a parent, hey, your child, you need to work at home with your child on fine motor, but not being able to provide that resource. And some families don't have that financial means. And how we can just connect them over to the R&R, which is housed right in our building, and parents can walk right over. And those young ladies make them feel so welcome, which is very important when parents are coming into a place to get a resource, right? That is so important that you have a welcome environment. Those ladies welcome them in, and also just like BethAnne said, if it's them coming in to get something for fine motor or just picking up a resource, like they may have additional question about childcare, those ladies are able to connect them with childcare centers, or they may say, I need help with getting the application. Those ladies are willing to help them sit down and they go through their application steps with them, which is very, very needed because some parents just don't know. They lack the knowledge of. So to have them young ladies in there to, kind of navigate for the parents, it's really, really, it has been like a game changer for our families over here in Midtown.
Thank you, Tamara. And BethAnne, tell us a little bit more about how your role is similar and then perhaps unique.
So the Mississippi Early Childhood Inclusion Center, it is very long, so we say MECIC for short. And then for our resource and referral centers, both here and in Gulfport, we do a lot of the same work. What I think makes our R&R unique is that we provide a space for young children with disabilities to come into an inclusive environment so that all children feel welcome. So we really enjoy. Our lending library has adaptive materials. We have dolls that show disability awareness. We have books and puzzles and games, but then also in our playrooms, we make sure that we have items in here that meet sensory needs, that are adaptable for all children to be able to use. And then we just create that space for families to come in who have children maybe who are typically developing, and then also families who have children with disabilities, so they can interact with their peers.
And I also suppose with other parents.
Yeah, it's been really neat to see parents meet another family that has a child with Down syndrome that maybe they didn't have any other parent friends before. And so to hear them come together and share resources with each other is extremely rewarding to me in my job.
Yes, yes. So this is to anyone here on the panel today. Let's say that a parent or grandparent or caregiver of a child lives in, we could just think of any county or community in Mississippi, and there may not be a resource and referral center in their county. Is there a way for them to avail themselves of services or have an opportunity to reach out to a neighboring county?
Yes, we work together within with our network at MSU Extension, and then of course, if we have someone that would be needing services in the Region 1 area, we would refer them to Delta Health Alliance. We also do work in close partnership with BethAnne and Alicia over at the MECIC, and also under MSU Extension. We are in the process of putting together 2 mobile resource and referral units. We are currently getting those stocked and ready to roll. And so we plan to yes. And so we plan to have staff that will we'll make a schedule and go around and visit the rural areas where they do not have a fully staffed and open resource and referral in their area.
That's tremendous. So that will be over the next few months. Do you have a timeline on that yet?
So we have the materials on hand. So we're just getting those materials stocked up. So my goal is to have that out and rolling by the spring, of at least one of them by the spring. And then the second one should be ready to roll by the fall of this year. So.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
So it makes me go way back in time. There was something called a bookmobile for those of us who grew up in a rural area in Mississippi, and you could go to a place in your community and the bookmobile would come by once or twice a month and you could check in and out of books. But this is something that is set up so that there can be interaction with the parents or the grandparents or caregivers as you roll into these various communities, as you mentioned. And so thinking about the work and the accessibility for parents and for child care providers, are there opportunities for services that are in non-workday hours? Tell us some about the flexibility. Charles, I see you're nodding affirmatively there. And any of you, about how you make your services more accessible to parents outside of a regular work day?
So we do have extended hours on Tuesdays from 8 o'clock to 7 o'clock that evening. And then also on the first and third Saturdays, we open from 9 to 12. Those are some additional hours that we allow parents and people from the community to come in and use our resources.
We also have those extended hours in order to be consistent. We have extended hours on Tuesdays from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And we currently operate on a schedule of the second and fourth Saturdays of the month, where we're open from 9 to 12. And then also we offer monthly community events where we, invite parents and the community to come out. And we just try to schedule those events at various times so that, parents can come and bring their children and participate in those events.
And that would be the same for us as well.
That sounds wonderful. Would anyone like to share some of the reactions of parents and providers that you have had? BethAnne, you mentioned some earlier for children with special needs, and I'm just wondering about what other parents are saying about these services.
It's been really cool to see that a lot of these families know that they have a safe space to come to. Most of our parents say they wish they would have known about us sooner, or any R&R sooner when they find out, because they come into the playrooms and they see that it is developmentally appropriate and it's a safe space to come. And so they start having play dates here, and then they start checking out materials to take home. And now they call us the toy library instead of the R&R, because they know they get toys or books or games from here. And so we actually had a mom come who has a little boy with Down syndrome, and they were checking out materials, and he loved them so much, he wanted to take them to his pre-K class. So it gave her the opportunity to tell his pre-K teacher that she could come here and check out items for their class. So now she checks out items for their developmentally delayed pre-K class here, which is really cool.
And so that child and that child's family have really sort of a ripple effect. And it really sounds like with pre-K, hopefully more inclusive classrooms once children transition from early care and education, child care, to pre-K, then on into kindergarten. Tamara, earlier you said you shared experience as a parent yourself and what that has meant. So would you share also what you're hearing parents in your center express about the R&R?
Yes, so parents, when they bring the kids in, just if they come and just enroll in the school, right? The first thing I tell them, we got this resource right here next as they walk in the building. But the first thing the children, you see their little eyes just go, ooh, like this a toy library. That's exactly what I call it. You know, I don't say resource and referral. I say it's a toy library, just like the library. The only difference is you don't have to have a library card to check out things. Your parents can check out things from you from 0 to 5 here. And so the kids get to looking, they don't know which way to go first. And the parents, for me, have been like, you know, they have toys at home, but not like this. So these are new activities that they get to check out and bring back. So it's always looking like the children get new toys. And so when they go home, they always tell them, I got a new toy. My mama bought me a new toy, not knowing that toy going back to the Linden Library, and they get to get a new toy every time they come. But for that mom, it makes her feel, she gets emotional the first couple of times she came, because she's able to provide this opportunity that she normally wouldn't be able to go out and purchase that. And so for me, that touched, you know, me in so many places, because you exposing a child to so much more than they probably had the opportunity of being exposed to. So having this right on site, I'm telling you, has definitely been a game changer for my families. And I could tell many more stories as this is as I'm talking. I think about a little boy who came here. Mom had no idea that he had autism, registered in the school, came, and we was like, wait a minute, something is going on. So, you know, a shout out to MCIC. I'm able to call them up and say, hey, I know y'all have a special need center up there with toys with a Linden Library. Can you bring me some of those things here so our babies can use? So, you know, being able to have these partnerships with the R&R across the region for the community use has been very valuable for the parents, but also for the caregivers. Like, teachers can't get out, right? My teachers can't get out, but they will call me and say, Miss Tamara, we working on this. Can you check this out for us? And I'm able to take that around there to the teachers, and so that they can have in a classroom to give those children rich learning experience as well. So it's been really a game changer for us over here in Midtown. On this morning, we're doing Discovery Day. So new kindergartens are coming in and, you know, touring the program, but I'm also taking them over here, and parents are saying, wait, this free? I mean, all of it's free. I said everything in this room is free. And also, Mom, if you need to make copies or if they have older kids that may be working on a project, you know, how this resource is so great for the whole family. So it's not just for that particular child that may be here, but how this resource and referral is really for the whole family to give a family an educational opportunity that they probably wouldn't have.
And we're so happy to be there with Midtown Partners in Jackson.
Well, and that's wonderful. One of the things that I'm hearing come through very clearly on this chat today is the interaction, each group working together, whether it's the overall picture from Mississippi State University's Extension Service and the Delta Health Alliance, but then when you within centers and on the ground level, whether opportunities for Saturday sessions, extended hours that Charles was also mentioning, and then the mobile van that will be going out across the state is really tremendous. But Tamara, you mentioned, I mean, this is beyond just your center. So when you look, it's housed at Midtown Partners, but it's actually available for others within the community. I just wanted to make sure we were clarified on that. And then also BethAnne, the same thing with Hattiesburg and Gulfport. And also talk about what's behind the toys or the type of materials that parents and providers can use to help increase children's developmental opportunities. So Tamara, you want to start a little bit more on that?
Yeah, and I also say, Linda, you're absolutely right. This go beyond just Midtown Partners. This is a community resource center for everyone. And when I go out to even do home visiting to get potential kids into the program, like I did today, then I'm taking R&R flyers to them to say, hey, we have this on site. Just even if you're not interested in our school, here's a resource for your family. So that is the wonders of this. I mean, it brings all type of people into this place, whether it's for the school or whether they just come in and check out the R&R. And we having meetings with MDE about lunch. Those people getting to see that we have an R&R, and they're coming back bringing their families here to check out material. So it doesn't matter what area you're from. If you're in Mid-Jackson, then this is one of the resource centers that's here. I can run into somebody that say, I've been into that R&R, and them girls are so nice. You know, those ladies make you feel important. And that is key for me. You know, when they come up in here, I want you to lay out the red carpet for them, because families need to feel that way so that they can come back and utilize these resources that are here.
Okay. And BethAnne, would you share a little bit more?
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot that parents don't know what to expect out of their children by a certain age. And so being able to talk about developmental milestones and then walk into the lending library and pull out materials that focus on fine motor skills or gross motor skills, and then being able to use it in the playroom and kind of model that play with the parent and the child and talk about what it looks like to monitor development, share the CDC developmental milestone checklist, even giving it to them and sending it home with them or showing them the app. I think it helps because before we've had a lot of moms say, I didn't even know what to look for. And now I have an idea. And then promoting screenings and what that looks like, that it's not something that's scary. It talks about, hey, what should my child be doing by this age? Okay, maybe we're at the cutoff and we need to add some learning activities, and then showing them what they could do at home with the resources they already have at home.
Okay. So thank you, BethAnne and Tamara. So Tara and Roxanne and Charles, for providers out there, for childcare providers all across the state, and for parents who would be listening into this, how do they find out? How does someone who is listening to this chat about children, where do they go to find out what is near them and the hours, that sort of thing?
So we have a very active social media We are on Facebook and Instagram, as well as Twitter, or actually it's X, that was formerly known as Twitter. And we also have a website, and that website, you can find the contact information, whether that be the phone number or email address or the physical address, to where the local child care resource and referral sites are.
Okay, thank you. And Brooksanne and
Yeah,
Charles?
it's basically the same with us, but all of ours are at the deltahealthalliance.org site. And you can click on our resource and referral project. It gives you a little background information, what's going on. We just got this grant, and so we have about half of our centers up and going. And so it's just ever evolving. But of course, our phone numbers, Charles's, mine, and Zipporah, are all on there. So if they have any questions, they can reach out to us if it's not completely what they're looking for.
And that's one of the exciting things I'm hearing, that this is an opportunity that is growing. It's growing by sites, by region, geographical regions. We mentioned earlier about the mobile unit and the exchange and partnerships among each of you. And it's really tremendous. So what are some of the, I'll turn this to anyone who would like to answer. What are some of your best lessons learned in the past and that you are now using to improve outreach and services?
I'll just go ahead and jump in. Well, for me, one, noticing that every community is a little bit different and they have different needs. So depending on if this region has a bigger group of homeschool parents versus parents that send their kids to school. So it varies by location, but also seeing the type of manipulatives that are checked out, like our some of our STEM activities and manipulatives, and really looking at how can we keep that going, how can we keep the ball moving on that, and what are some needs that we can meet in the middle that the school district necessarily doesn't have at the time, but we can also provide to help those teachers in those areas.
So one thing that we have found is that every single one of our child care resource and referral sites is different. The site itself has a different personality. Whether you have Midtown, we have great partners there, and we love that site. It's very friendly, welcoming, and it is there within the Midtown program. And then we have some sites that are standalone, where, like our Hattiesburg site, we have the entire building. And we have an infant toddler space. We have a block area. When you walk in, there's just a pre-K area where children can come in and play with the materials that are available for checkout. We also have sites on community college campuses. Our program staff get to know the providers in the area, like Charles said, just depending on, what is predominant in the area. It may be more family child care based, especially in your more rural areas. So just depends on, the community, the area that we're in, and we try to form those relationships with the parents and the providers, as well as the community. And we just try to adapt and be flexible and provide those services that are needed.
That sounds wonderful. And the fact that I think, Charles, you said it initially about each community is different, and to understand the nuances there and what the needs are and what the opportunities are. And it sounds to me that the resource and referral entities are really doing that. They have resources and the reach is continuing to increase, it grow. This is for anyone to respond to this. I mentioned at the beginning that quality early care and education is so important to economic development in this state. What would you like business leaders and policymakers to know about your current work and how you see this as being a very much of an economic development piece for the state, if indeed you see that?
Well, for us, Delta Health Alliance as a whole, we work with community education and health. So in our core 19 counties. So we're wanting these business leaders while we're out talking to them about workforce, which is some of our other projects. We're also talking about these R&Rs and how they can help the parents or anyone, a child care director, anything that they need, we're able to help. We try to talk about getting to a yes. Whatever they need, we're going to try to get to a yes to help them. And so if it's something that we don't have immediately at the R&R centers, as Tara can attest, we can certainly reach out to our other counterparts of things that are around the area to help them do whatever they want. But I'd like for these businesses to know more that we're out there, we're willing to help, and we're willing to be a partner for them to lure other businesses in, people from out of state. And, with the Mississippi Delta, that's just something we struggle with. So I'd like to see that keep going and keep being a topic of discussion.
I would like business leaders and people out there to know, Linda, is the R&R provide high quality materials for the children to learn. And if the children and the providers are getting these high quality materials to take into their classroom, which is going to help the kids later in life, parents can go to work and really work and not be focused on, what their child needs are, because we have a resource. If providers or centers don't have the high quality material, they can go check these materials out. It's at one R&R close by them that may have these resources. And so for me, I think it changes the workforce environment, because as the children are learning these skills, which is our next generation of workforce, they go come to the workforce prepared and ready to learn, because they're gonna have the skills that they need. And I think the R&R provides that. So that's what I would say.
Definitely. And, statistics show that for every dollar that is invested into early childhood, yields a $16 return on investment. And you also will see an increase in high school graduation, as well as college matriculation, a return on economic development and personal income. So everything that we are able to invest in early childhood, it's beneficial to society at large. It's beneficial to all of us, and it comes full circle. So the work that we are able to do through the Child Care Resource and Referral is just simply amazing. Providing these developmentally appropriate educational materials, that is a huge investment into the future.
Well, and thank you each for your comments on that, because when you look at return on investment or the ROI, the studies that I've read, it has to be quality to get the ROIs at that level, whether that's $12 or $13 or whatever that might be. And so it sounds to me, from what I've heard today and learning more about R&Rs, is that these are opportunities to sort of scaffold that investment, to build one upon another. Tamara, you mentioned about it being a toy library, and for the children, that's how they see it, because it's been said many, many times that play is the work of the child, right? And so when you have opportunities and you have these resources that can help children learn, so the children may see it as a toy, but as you work with the parents and the providers and the grandparents or whoever is working with this child, then they know the importance of building of blocks, or cutting fine motor, our gross motor skills, etc., and what are the appropriate toys, if you will, or the appropriate educational materials that is going to help get that child to where they need to be developmentally. So I just appreciate each of you for the amazing work that you're doing in your community and across the regions. And we are so thrilled that each of you have made time today to participate in the Children's Foundation of Mississippi Chat About Children. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Linda, for having us today.
Yep, I enjoyed it. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.